The Snakebyte Gamepad 4S is the cheapest PS4 controller right now, though it exudes a premium look that betrays this fact. Still, at an MRP of nearly 3,000 rupees, it's almost half the price of the standard DualShock 4 controller. Is it worth the cost? We tell you. The Snakebyte Gamepad 4S feels sturdy in hand, which makes up for its smaller dimensions versus Sony's official DualShock 4 controller. The touchpad has a nice clicky feel to it and the analog sticks are easy to grip, but its triggers feel a bit off and the concentric D-pad isn't as precise. If you're wondering where the costs were cut to keep the price down, it's most obvious with its buttons. It's not just square, circle, X and triangle, but it's the share and options buttons that feel mushy as well. To the point where it displays your actions with near perfect timing, it takes a while to shake off any perceived unresponsiveness despite being a wired-only controller. And yes, if you're expecting a controller at 50% off the price of the DualShock 4 to have wireless Bluetooth, you're sadly mistaken. Thankfully, there's a generous 9.8-foot cable to make up for this, along with a dual vibration motor that does a good enough job of mimicking what you get with more expensive controllers. Taking a leaf out of the iPhone and most flagship Android devices, the Snakebyte Gamepad 4S does not have a 3.5mm jack. You'll need to use a separate solution such as the PlayStation Gold headset if you want your audio to be cloistered off from the rest of the world. Despite these trade-offs, it's competent. In our time checking out Street Fighter V, we never found ourselves at a disadvantage being able to pull off fireballs at will thanks to the circular D-pad. In shooters like Overwatch, we were able to pull off attacks and ultimates with ease once we shook off the feeling of its mushy buttons. Driving games like Gran Turismo Sport and Driveclub worked well as they should. Perhaps our only concern is that the controller isn't an officially licensed Sony product. What this means is, aside from keeping its price low, as the company doesn't have to pay Sony any licensing costs, it also means that Sony isn't obliged to ensure it works with future updates to the PlayStation 4. Nonetheless, in the event of this, Snakebyte promises updates via its website to rectify any concerns. For what it's worth, the Snakebyte Gamepad 4S ran fine on a PS4 Pro with the 5.05 firmware update, despite being officially compatible only with the PS4 5.01 update. All in all, the Snakebyte Gamepad 4S is the quintessential second controller. It's not one you'd buy for yourself unless you're short of cash, rather it's one you'd buy for that friend who'd show up for bouts of FIFA or Street Fighter V. With a competitive price point, the Snakebyte Gamepad 4S is well worth considering. Thanks for watching this video and subscribe to Gadgets360 on YouTube and hit the bell icon to know first when videos go live. Also follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and check out Gadgets360.com for all the latest gaming news, reviews, features and opinions, as well as Transition, our weekly gaming podcast, and Talk About Games, our weekly video game show.